Peace and blessings, everybody. It's me, by Can, aka Rogue Spiritual. How y'all doing today? I am doing great. Hopefully, you having this awesome day. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not gonna always get glammed the fuck up when I do a fucking vlog or whatever the case is, because first of all, like, it be too much or whatever, and then like your eyes be itching or whatever when you beat your eyes and put lip gloss or whatever the case is. You got some, and then the fact that our family's having a funeral mass this Saturday or whatever the case is, so I gotta go as a boy. I can't go as glammed up, even though my grandmother had seen me alive when I was in when I was beat the fuck up, if you will. She seen me like that a couple of times, even when my nails did. But let's get to the meat of the matter. So I wrote on the blog or whatever, and I'm taking it to the video. So there is certain doors that are closing, and certain doors have already been closed. Now, the Golden Age, they closed their doors a long time ago. The Golden Age industry closed their doors a long time ago. Now, we have LGBT artists in the Golden Age industry or whatever the case is, but the very last LGBT artist in the Golden Age industry is Candy. I mean, if you don't believe me, check out Wildin' Out with Candy, whatever the case is. Nick Cannon is from the Golden Age era, and he opened the doors for Candy, as Candy went toe-to-toe with Golden Age vets, battle vets, and this and that, and it's a victory for us. Why the fuck not? So that is a fun fact right there. And then, like, seriously, after that, after Candy, the doors was closed. The first time I realized that this was happening was when my bro told me, whatever the case is. But let's take it back to Stack Bundles. Stack Bundles was one of the last Golden Age, was one of the last MCs along with Riot Squad to be taken into the Golden Age industry. And I learned about Stack Bundles when he died on MySpace. He took over MySpace. He had the streets at his attention for real. But the very last artist to be taken into the Golden Age industry is Candy. Yes, Candy. So the other industries like trap and drill are open. Now, when it's vulnerability, like trap and drill, like trap will be open for the next 5 to 10 years, and then they're about to close its doors, and then ain't nobody got no choice but to go to drill. So you got, I'm only gonna name females because we already familiar with the trap niggas in the game. We got Billy B, we got Loda Brooke, we got London Hill, we got K Goddess, and we got Pretty Deej. And then we got Saucy Santana, and we got the City Girls. Females and LGBT in the trap industry. The trap industry is gonna be open for the next 5 to 10 fucking years, and then they're gonna close its doors too. Ice Spice is the same age. Ice Spice is the same age group as the ones that I mentioned in the trap industry. However, she was sent to drill. And there was sort of rumors or whatever going around that Ice Spice fuck around and bought followers, bought views, or whatever the case is. Listen, there's nothing wrong with promotion. There's nothing wrong with promotion unless you get out of hand or whatever the case is. Yeah, so it's because I'm daring for Hip Hop Hippie to open that gap. Okay? Hip hop was never free. Not even back then. You had to pay for niggas to spread your name around for promotion. You had to pay for a feature. You had to pay to get on a radio show. You had to pay to get in the club. All this. And these hip hop hippies talking about, oh, but I want it to be organic. I want the niggas to, bitch, bye. What are you doing? And this is why a lot of hip hop hippies get left behind, because they're thinking, oh, what happened back in the day, why the fuck I can't happen? No, it didn't happen back in the day, bitch. Hip hop was never free. You got me fucked up. And we already know the story of how hip hop sold themselves to the man. However, hip hop was never free. Even if it was a black-owned business, hip-hop was never free. So all you hip-hop hippies can shut your mouth. Now back to Ice Spice. Now, Ice Spice, okay, fine, promoting herself or whatever. However, the case is, right? She's one of those artists that force magic to happen. Okay? If you follow me on Instagram, I have pinned posts about local artist tools or SoundCloud rapper tools. Okay? Like, what's past 10 streams is a block blazer. What's 100 streams is a hit. What's 50K streams is highly acclaimed. And what's 100K streams and beyond is a classic. So basically, Ice Spice, who should have stood on a hit level, she should have stood on a hit level with whatever the case is. However, she forcing 50K, 100K, this and that. Now, Ice Spice is forcing magic to happen. Nobody thinks she's authentic, and on the low, she never gave the streets a chance to confirm whether it's a classic or not, and that's a problem with a lot of these artists. Instead of staying on a hit level, instead of promoting a hit or turning a block blaze into a hit, they want to go for the 50K, for the 100K, or whatever the case is, and force matches to happen. And that's what the rumor been saying about Ice Spice. A lot of these niggas be forcing matches to happen, and that's how we became familiar with them, because I never heard of these niggas, or all of a sudden niggas has been playing their music or whatever, because they forced their matches to happen. Now, I'll be promoting myself too. I have a media marketer that fuck around and promotes my music for dirt cheap. However, I stay on the hit level, and I leave a couple of block blazes alone. The highly claimed song to this date with the 50K streams, 56K streams, was the Cluck Cluck on the Fred the Godson beat on my first mixtape, or whatever the case is. I had nothing to do with that. This is before I met my first media marketer, and it was on maybe 2022 sharp, my nigga. I had nothing to do with that. I was more heard in Russia than Mexico than the States. That's how red it was. You know? And I think it still be the same way. Even if I had a media marketer that time, it would just blow up on its own. Okay? When you put a song out, you give it a week to marinate, or whatever the case is. If it's not, come on now, you got to use common sense. I stay on the hit level. And that's what niggas need to fucking do. So fuck around, Ice Spice is over here forcing magic to happen. Now, we're not going to make this all about her. Okay? Back to what I was talking about originally. The Golden Age industry closed. The only industry that's open is trap and drill. And where it's vulnerable, trap will be open for the next 5 to 10 years. And then it's going to close its doors. It's a good time for everybody to get in the trap industry, especially for women and LGBT members. Now, when it's out rap, because it was actually the mix of that industry, if you will. I was trying to network with artists. Actually, I was networking with artists, with fellow LGBT artists. I took pics with them, this, that, watched my LGBT hip-hop peers perform, or whatever the case is. Let me tell you something. The Ghetto Views industry, aka the out version of Golden Age, is about to close its doors, my nigga. They're about to close its doors. Okay? So you got like one of the very last people that was to enter the Ghetto Views industry, aka the out version of Golden Age, was Ken Music, Elise, Bob the Drag Queen, and as well as the other MCs in that Gay Bars video. Those were and a couple of people that I can't mention right now. But the Ghetto Views industry is about to close. After them, the Ghetto Views industry will close for good. So you got what's next now is the trap and the drill. Within the out industry. Trap and drill is going to be, in the out industry, is going to be open for a very long time. It's going to be open for a very long time, but it's the out industry. I kid you not. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's a fun fact? You got Dirty Hannah and Bus Gutter in the same age group. I kid you not. Right? However, Dirty Hannah, an old schooler like me, will be considered the ghetto views industry, if you will. Buzz Gutter, literally, I watched this man grow. He made a name for himself and a name for his group called Pink Gorilla Entertainment. You know, like he's doing big things. And he literally took out rap towards the future. He literally took out rap towards the future. And he's up there. So fuck around, Buzz Gutter will be in the trap industry, if you will. You know? Now, this other genre called DL rap, but it's not what's said, it's how it's said. It's a whole bunch of undercover transgenders rap into a piece these DL men that are not good for them instead of charging them everything plus tax. I've already deceived DL rap and dragged them towards vulnerability with prayers and actions that follow suit. I remember chatting with this guy off a dating app or whatever the case is. This nigga was like 19 years old. I'm like, I'm telling this nigga, what the fuck is he doing? Trying to flirt with me, whatever the case is. I literally had to put a stop to that, you know? And fuck around. We had a conversation, and then he was talking about how his nigga was DL or whatever, and this and this, and he felt, and the nigga was ashamed to be around him, and the fact that this 19-year-old did not make a scene towards that nigga that he was with. And I think that's what I thought the privation of DL music, my nigga. I mean, I remember his name, that I'm not gonna mention it. I'm not gonna post his picture or nothing like that, but he's a DL music is sort of like undercover trans. Niggas that are ashamed to be trans. And that's how I see for this nigga. Like, I'm like, yo, bro, how the fuck you not praying? How the fuck you not doing anything about it? You just let this nigga walk all over you or whatever the case is, and then you crying. Looking tragic, by the way. You know? And I think that's how I saw DL music. And then I heard a DL music musician. But yeah. When it's out rap, the ghetto views industry is about to close. You already heard the last rappers that I mentioned, which is Kid Music, LSA, Bottle Drag Queen, the people from the Gay Bars video, and a couple of people that I can't mention. After them, the ghetto views industry will be closed for good. Okay? When it's out rap, the trap industry and the drill will be open for a very long time. Okay? Now, let's not talk about the swag parties era when it's out rap, because that is possibly stopped with Generation X. Like, swag parties era was like niggas rapping, busting on the mic or whatever, and constantly in a nigga's face for what they believe in. You know? Like, the out rappers that came before us. Swag parties era. Okay? And if you was Generation X or anybody older, if you up in age and you had something to say back during the swag parties era, and you ain't say, and you just ran back to the house, you're a late bitch, and you should cough it up. We do not need you here. Now, when it's vulnerability, the pioneer era closed real quick. So if you had something to say during the pioneer era and you ran back to the house, shame on you. You're a late bitch there as well. So that's all I have to say. Have a blessed day. Thank you.